Hey there, mathematicians. This is your dear friend, Mr. McCarthy, coming at you with yet another edition of Chapter 2 in Math. This will be our third day in Lesson 2.5, but I assure you it's also our final day in Lesson 2.5. And this is going to be a nice and short video. I know I get a couple that where I got a little bit long-winded, but I'm not going to put you through that here today. Really, we're just going to check on some estimation today, and then you're going to have some practice problems, and that'll be that. You'll barely notice that I'm here. All right, so moving on. Day 3 in this lesson, we are estimating. All right. In order to estimate quotients, the estimation and the long division really ties really well together, because when you do the estimation, that kind of gives you your starting point when you're trying to come up with the quotient. Okay, so for example, in this one, we're talking about estimating 1,728 divided by 38. The first thing you're going to do is round your divisor, your smaller number. In this case, they're rounding 38 to 40. All right, so then I'm going to look for a number that's close to that I can divide by 40. And as we get down here, my options are going to be, my best options are going to be 1,600 and 2,000. Since 1,728 is a little closer to 1,600, then I'm going to go with that option and use 1,600. Or cross out a 0 here, cross out a 0 here. Do 16 divided by 4 is 4, and then keep that 0. Or do it the way they did it, but you know, whatever works for you. So I know that when I do 1,728 divided by 38, it's going to be about 40. So then, and we're not doing this in this actual lesson, but when you're starting, that's going to give you your starting point too. 4 times 8 is 2, 3, 152. 38 is going to go into 200. That's about 40. That's about 200. So there's estimating again. That's about 40. That's about 200. 5 times 8 is 0. Okay, the 4. 5 times 3 is 15. So now, you weren't asked to do this, but I use the estimation twice. How many 40s in roughly 1,600, 1,700, and then how many 40s in 200. So the estimation is just huge for the actual division itself. That's really, I think, the main reason why we're working on it here. But I think you're only going to have to estimate today. All right, in this case, we're going to estimate the quotient of 4,367 divided by 670. Get out of the way. 670 is going to round to 700. And then, so when I'm looking at 700, what I'm really looking at is the 7. So I'm looking at 7 facts. That's 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, etc., etc., etc. So in this case, it's going to be 700, 1,400, 2,100, blah, 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 so on. Since 4,367 is closer to 4,200 than 4,900, I'm going to go with 4,200 divided by 700, or 4,200. I don't know why they do this, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. Divided by 100, divided by 7. Oh, this is the step where you're canceling out the zeros. So then you're doing 42 divided by 7 is 6. Sorry about that. So this part here, you know how I talk about zeros canceling each other out? That's what they're trying to show you. All right, pause me. Do some estimates in these bad boys down here. I'll do the same, and once you resume, I'll show you what I got. All right, friends, here's what I ended up with. I'm assuming you're probably pretty close. The only one I wasn't sure about, at one point I was going to go 5,000 divided by 100 is 50, so 50, 49, whatever. What's the difference? That's close enough for me. Other than that, everything else seemed to kind of... Oh, pardon me. I record these late at night. You guys probably never guessed that, I'm sure. But yeah, here we go. That's it. That's your lesson you're learning for today. The next page, I believe, is going to be the Let's Practice section, which covers the last 3 days. So why don't you hammer away at that? I'm going to, pause me while you do, and then I'll do the same thing, and we'll compare answers in a few moments. All right, pause. Seriously, hit pause. All right, amigos, is this where you ended up? Hopefully, hopefully, hopefully. You'll notice I kind of do my little zero crossing out trick that they demonstrate by the dividing by 10, divided by 100 and whatnot. But you got to be careful with that. It's not like you can just cross out all the zeros. So I'm dividing by 10, I can cross out 1 and 1. You're crossing them out in pairs, okay? Can't do that pair. You need 1 from each number to match up. So I did 2 and 2. Here I did 2 and 2, and this 0 remains behind. Same thing over here. Cross out this one, cross out this one. This guy here gets to stay. Alrighty. And the estimating, yeah, that all looks good. I did the same stunt down there. You could have done, 7,000 too, if you know that half of 70 is 35, but this works. We're going to go on. I'm going to show you the problem of the lesson. This is a great way to practice. Oh, this isn't bad at all. Pause me, and then I'm just going to do it. All right, hopefully y'all did this. Whoops, skipped it. Some of you probably did. Me too. I'm hilarious. It's probably the best way to do it right there. All righty, clear up the screen. Yeah, that's it. We done. Finishing up the workbook pages for this lesson. I'm imagining you've done a number of them already, and this is most likely the IXL lesson to do, but as always, log in IXL, click on skill plans, and find Math and Focus, Chapter 2, Lesson 5, and that'll have the exact lessons. You don't need to know code or anything, that's how you find it. Always, always, always use your skill plans. That'll be the quickest way to get you there. That's that, friends. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. I'll be back at you tomorrow or Monday or whenever your next learning day is with more math. Peace out, friends. See ya.